Hello and welcome to the first episode of Otaku. And Otaku, for those of you who do not know, means to obsess, or an obsessor, or someone who is devoted to something. It's usually done in reference to the anime culture or the Japanese culture. So I've been watching a lot of anime as of late, and I decided that why not kind of share what I'm watching and what I think of it, so I decided that I was going to make its own show. So, welcome to the first episode of Otaku. Miel here, and as always, awesome to have you guys. Awesome. So, first thing I'm going to dive right into is, an older series that I've been watching, and I am a Crunchyroll premium account user. So a lot of the stuff that I might talk about, you might not be able to see quite yet, but wait just a little while and then it will actually go to the public. But a lot of the stuff I get 2 or 3 days ahead of everyone else because I do technically subscribe. But this series is an older series, which means that it's completely open to the public, and it is called Btooom, I'm guessing. Btooom, I guess, is what it would be considered, with an exclamation point. I've just been calling it Boom because, well, there's just a T in it, and I've watched all of the first season in pretty much 2 days. And ultimately, I gave it, actually, I'm going to look at my list real quick, quick list of it, that way I can actually, have my anime list and have everything up to date with what I did on my anime list. So, I gave it a 6 out of 10, which I think is, which is honestly a little lower than probably what the average was that I've seen on a lot of the reviews of it. And before we jump into spoilers, I'm just going to give you like a quick synopsis of the anime series. Pretty much what happens is there is a video game that these people have been playing, particularly the main character, and it's called Btooom. And what ends up happening is he kind of gets sucked into the game to the point that, well, he himself is a NEET, so he's a shut-in and he's a hermit. He doesn't have any contact except for through this game. And the premise of it is that there's people that have been put on this island, this deserted island pretty much, and they must battle it out. So that's pretty much like the very general synopsis of things. Actually, should probably get my spoiler board out, but I sadly do not have it like completely prepped. So I'm just gonna be like, hey guys, unfortunately, spoilers ahead. So if you want to go ahead and watch the anime, go ahead and watch the anime. Pause this, come back to it later after you've watched the anime. But we're gonna start diving straight into spoilers. So, pretty much, what has happened is this game and what is going on in the island are kind of related to each other, but not entirely. The people who've made this game, Btooom, have pretty much initiated what is going on the island. So it's the company is pretty much like in control of what's going on. Essentially what happened to get people on the island was there was this like weird letter that was sent out, and it was pretty much to people that said, hey, if you can make someone disappear, would you? And here, who would it be? So everyone who's on this island has had someone of some sort said, hey, I don't want you here, I want you to disappear. And that's what happened, and they were all here on this sort of Hunger Games Battle Royale island that they have to fight to the death to get off the island. And it was very, very interesting to see something else done like this. I do honestly, like, I have a lot of issues with this particular genre of, like, series of books, of movies and stuff like that. A lot of times people come into this saying, well, it's a game of survival. It is. It's a huge game of survival. It's a huge, like, mental test. And with this anime, you do see a lot of that. You see the mental test behind it of, do you kill people or do you not kill people? However, it gets very annoying. At least I thought it did. That it got, sorry, I have like randomly something in my eye. Very annoying with the main character and the sub main character. I wouldn't say that she was like just a side character, because they played off together. Like, they played together. Himiko and I can't even think what his name is right now. I can't even think what his name is. But the main character and Himiko, so like the love interest in the anime. They were very whiny to me. They were just like, I don't want to kill people. I'm still not going to kill people. And she did, essentially, in the anime, actually kill someone and kill a couple people. Where he wasn't so much that. He, like, it was survival of the fittest, but even if he had the chance to kill someone, he didn't. And this was evidence of the little, like, I almost want to say demon kid, where previously in an episode, you pretty much, he has the opportunity to kill him. And he shows up in the episode, in an episode further in the series, and I'm just like, why? Why? If you... And, like, the whole time, they're very, very whiny about it. And especially her. Especially Himiko. Because she's in this, like, I've seen tragic things. My friends, like, the reason she ended up being on the island is because she took her friends to an apartment and they essentially got date raped and completely abused, and she was the only one who made it out alive. Or rather, made it out, in general, unscathed. So, her friends were just like, you're a traitor, you set us up, and screw you, we want you to disappear. And then she gets put to this island, and when she comes in contact with the men on this island, the first thing that happens is a guy tries to rape her. So she has this very twisted sense of what's going on, and she's like, no, don't touch me, I want nothing to do with guys, because guys are very untrustworthy. So, it kind of, it made the rest of the series like, okay, there is character development between her and her love interest, which she knew from playing this video game. They had met inside the game, but hadn't met in real life. So the series is kind of like, well, are you this person? Are you not this person? Do we really know each other? Kind of scenario. And when she, like, starts to develop trust into him, it's a little bit of a character development, but it's still not that much for it being 12 episodes. And I was very disappointed, especially in the main character, because he didn't have that much of an in-depth development. He had one epiphany, and that was at the very end. And it was one of those case situations where he sort of realized that he was very selfish in the real world. And that he could have pretty much, like, solved all these issues with his family and with his friends and stuff like that if he would have stepped back and been like, how does that make someone else feel? And that was pretty much it, because, like, the whole series was just all about survival and who's gonna kill who, how's this gonna survive. So there wasn't that much room for character depth between, like, the main characters. And it's sad because, to me, one of the side characters, which was, I really wish I would have had a list of, like, the character names on the side of here, but here we go for just off the top of my head going. He broke his leg, and he had an injury where the Komodo dragon, bit his leg, something with his hand. Oh, I can't even think what his name is. Oh well. Next time I do one of these, I'll remember to have, like, a list of all the characters and the names and stuff like that. That way it makes it easier for you guys to know who I'm talking about. But knowing the series, then you do know who I'm talking about. But he actually had the most character development. He was the first one who ran across the main character. And at first, he was very like, I'm here not to play the game. I want to find a way to escape off this island. And the main character latched onto that and was like, there has to be another way. We shouldn't have to kill people. And he started to realize that he was a lot smarter than what he was given credit for. And later on in the series, even though he was, like, the most injured character that still lived, not at the very end, though. I'm getting to that. He took a lot of abuse and had to deal with a lot of things from the main character. For example, when he did get hurt, he was left in the, like, the watchtower place, and the main character was like, I'm gonna be right back, I'm gonna go get food, I'm gonna go get supplies, and he left him there. And it's scene after scene after scene of this reoccurring. I'm just gonna look this up really quick. Sorry, guys. It's not giving me. There we go. Now that I got it up and going, Tira, Tara Kiyoshi, Kiyoshi. That's what it is, Kiyoshi Tara. Pretty much, I'm probably butchering these names, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Taira, I almost want to say. He was the one who got attacked, and he, after time, was like, look, I can't deal with this. I mentally can't do this. I'm going to go insane. And he does. At the very end, he does. And he actually attacks Himiko and Sakamoto. That's what it is, Sakamoto. Attacks them. And then Sakamoto comes and chases him down, and he's like apologizing and like trying to tell him that he's done wrong and that it wasn't his fault and that it was just like he had left him and he didn't mean to left him. And that's what like the character development was at the very end for Sakamoto. But then the other character kind of like realized that Sakamoto was the good guy in the situation. He wasn't the bad guy, and he kind of snapped to. And to save Himiko and Sakamoto, he committed pretty much suicide and gave them his shards that he had on him. And it was very, that in itself was very in-depth. But why it took 12 episodes, I'm not sure. Because some of the best character development that I've ever seen, I just want to throw, like, Fully Cooley out there, had very few episodes, and every part of the episode was very important for character development. And for a series like this, there wasn't. And characters that you just randomly showed up, like side characters that, of course, it proved that there were more people on the island, but it was just like, you don't really know their names. They're not very memorable. Like, what's going on with these people? And at the very end, it did leave you for, like, one hell of a cliffhanger, because they're still sitting on the island, even though they have all the shards that they need. And a gentleman who is in the company is in a helicopter and telling, like, himself that this was all he could do for Sakamoto. And it's very interesting, because the series was from a while ago, and there hasn't been a season 2. So taking that into consideration, I watched it to finish it, because I really wanted to know whether they did get off the island or not. But if they did make a season 2, I think I'd only watch the first episode, and then I would just leave it be, because I'm like, I don't really have an interest in anyone else but knowing if they got off the island. And knowing how the character development worked in season 1, they would have to do a lot in season 2 for me to have an opinion change on that. So ultimately, like I said, I gave it a 6 out of 10. It was definitely, I enjoyed how short it was. I don't feel like I wasted that much time, them being like 23, 24-minute episodes. I didn't waste that much time watching the anime, and it was definitely something that gave me insight on another kind of genre of anime, the survival genre. So, am I glad that I watched it? Yes. Did I enjoy it to some extent? Yes. But would I say that it's anywhere near one of my favorites? No. I would definitely not say this is one of my favorites. I will probably, honestly, this is one of those animes that later on down the road, I will forget that I've watched and been like, oh, I did watch that at one point, but not something that I continuously recall back to. So, do I give a recommendation of other people watching the show? If you like the genre, if you like the survival genre of things, go ahead. It's very well done. There's a lot of tricks in the series that is very intuitive to humans. A lot of it that's like, oh wow, like every turn there's a new thing that happened that kind of did make me go, that's clever. That is really clever. So based on that, yes, I would recommend it to someone. I would just inform them that there's not going to be much depth to this anime. So hopefully you've enjoyed my review of this anime, and I shall see you again for the next episode of Otaku. Have a good one, guys.